I have to say, like, you don't realize the strength you have in you until you're placed in circumstances for you to just rise to the occasion of the circumstance, whatever that might be. It all works for us individually because it's our path, right? Man, that said, it's so comical to me in the community that I live in. Like, people think or feel or act as though, like, I don't pick up on things. Like, of course I do. I don't feel the necessary need to talk about certain things because it's just obnoxious to me. I find it to be unique. I find it to be comical. I find it to be odd to see adults acting the way that I do. So I just allow them to act how they do. But every time I leave my house, I pick up on cars leaving, coming, same vehicles, same tags, all these different things. Like, I pick up on all of it. And so when I just left my house to go to the ATM to pull out some money and go to the gas station, there's a vehicle that left right as I did, pulled out right in front of me. Or no, yeah. And they had a handicap tag, but they were not driving as if they were handicapped. That's for sure. They had a heavy foot. And so I let them know that I was there behind them. And something just came over me. I was like, I just want to see where they're going. So I followed them. Because I get followed all the time. So I followed them. And we went down this neighborhood and they kept making turns that made no sense. None. No sense. They were literally driving in circles. I'm like, this is what we've succumbed to, is living in a community where when one person leaves a house, others leave a house, and then they drive in circles. And then they drive in loop-de-loops. And they start acting sporadically. It's like, what the F? What the actual F? Right? And I generally don't talk about these things because it's like, what's the necessary need? Like, yeah, I'm well aware. I have people watching me. I have people following me. I have all these, like, yeah. Like, I get that. I mean, I've been doing this for a few years now. I'm well aware. The gig's up. I've been making multiple videos about this. Today set me off, though. I'll be honest. Today set me off. You done woke up a beast. A beast. Because it's like, no longer am I just fighting for myself and my livelihood and just the reality of just the true American spirit of what's right and wrong and justice and injustice and truth in falsified situations and accusations. Like, I recognize all these things, but now I'm fighting for everyone that has been posed against me and their livelihood and being blackmailed to work against me. So now it's like even bigger. Now it's like super big. And now I really feel like just so a different kind of empowerment. A different kind, like, again, I made a video this morning, which is so funny because I was like, pick on somebody your own size. Like, I've been built for this. But now that I see the full picture and how much, like, the blackmail and the coercion and the ability to use people's livelihood and their money and their things that they've worked really, really hard for, to use that against them because you carry all this, like, power that you think you carry. It's like, yeah, that's a bit different. And so I followed this vehicle and they did all these loop-de-loops. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't feel great to be followed, does it? You probably don't like it. I don't think that they liked it based on how they were driving. They definitely weren't driving disabled. I'll tell you that. And they had a disabled tag. So there's that venture. Just like the veterans, disabled veterans, driving like a freaking maniac. It's like, what the heck? What the heck? Where did you lose your honorability? It's definitely not on the road. You're not driving with honorability. Like, my kid's on the road and you're driving like a freaking fool. At least around me you are. And so it's like, gather yourself, figure out where you lost it, and then hopefully you'll find it. And so it's one of those things. Like, I went to the ATM to pull out money. Of course, there's a cap on it. But yeah, I 100% will be pulling out my money out of the bank. 100%. I'm going to keep it like a little bit amount in there, and that's it. That's it. We're not playing these games. I refuse to play these games. These systematic games that I know that they carry control over, and I'm not going to give them that. Absolutely not. To each their own. To each their own. I know it's different for everybody else. Everybody's in different situations. But for me, by the grace of God, I have the ability to fight things the way that I do. By the grace of God. But I went by the gas station, and he could tell that I was fluffered. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm having a night. He's like, well, whoever it is, they must have deserved it. I was like, you ain't lying about that. You ain't lying about that. You know, it's comical to me that I live in a world that has been so suffocated by he said, she said. And because he said, she said, they carry power and resilience. And let me tell you something. They don't want me to tell the secrets. I've got a secret to share. And we're going to share it right now. Okay. When I went to the Keys, let's see here, 2023, I went to the Keys twice to help with a long-term property company that was purchased by the owner of the company. So I went down to the Keys to help him get it together because it was a cluster. It was a cluster. The first time I went, he was there. He went with me. All right. When the whole booking transpired, I had my own place that I was going to stay at. I had my own little short-term property, a part of their little short-term, blah, 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 blah. Like, I stay out of that stuff. Like, none of that mattered to me. I don't care. I went there to do a job. That's how my mind operates. I don't have time for the nitty-gritty. I don't care. Anywho, when I got there, they tried to coerce me and talk me into staying at the co-owner who co-owned the company that he supposedly purchased with them at her house with him. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to stay at the property that was discussed and booked when we discussed me coming down to the Keys to help you the first go around, right? With him there. And this is what's comical to me. Is like, this man is married, has 2 kids. Why in the world would this be an okay, appropriate scenario when you go out of town and carry business out of town ventures to stay at so-and-so's house when so-and-so there with you? Like, no, nothing about that is appropriate. Nothing about that's appropriate. Nothing. And this is how these people operated all day, every day. It was nothing appropriate. When I went in to talk about raises, it was all inappropriate. Whether it was my finances, things with my son, things with my marriage at the time, or even going through my divorce. Because remember, when I went through my divorce, they told me that I helped them not go through a divorce. That was great. Right? And so it's just like, in that same scope of time frame, when I went through my divorce is when I was told I was going to be a partner, and then I had to send out text messages to say that was a lie. And so this is how these people operate. And so I'm well aware of how they operate. So if you want to keep playing these games, I can keep telling more secrets because I have a lot of them, and you know I do. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. And we can start calling out names if you like, because I'm down to play. I'm down to play. What are you going to sue me for? Exactly. The pay you keep withholding. That's what I told my dad. I'm like, if they want to keep playing these games and this is how dirty they're going to play, that's fine. It can go all the way up to the president himself. I'm down to play. You cannot withhold people's pay for your dirty little secrets. You can't. And I'm down to say that to their face. Every single one of them. Seeing as they can't have a conversation with me, nor go to court, nor throw out some plausible evidence of whatever it is they're saying. They won't do it. Why? Because it's falsified and it's fake, and they live on lies.